Alright, I'm going to start off by saying I'm going to try to make this really, really quick because I think I've actually got more material than 15 minutes. So, first, show of hands, anybody here from Optiv? Great, it means I'm not being judged by my peers. Okay. Alright, so John Strand was here last month. Who was here for that? Awesome. So he reiterated a really good point. Users click everything, right? So you send them a link, they'll click it, even if the link says don't click it, right? So a real common event that I see up at Optiv as part of the threat analyst team is we see a lot of malicious URLs, a lot of malicious IPs, and it could be two different ways here. It could be either involuntary, like there's a script hitting on a page, or the user actually goes to a site and gets their computer up. So as security professionals, you might work with a security device that says, oh, this is malicious, and we're going to block it. But it might not tell you the whole story, so it might just go, oh, this is malicious. That's great, You need to know why it's malicious. What would have happened if it didn't block it? So, let's see. So what happens if you don't have access to real expensive security devices? If you don't have paid security feeds, how do you find out what's malicious and what's not for yourself? I'm going to take you through an event that we actually triaged up at Optiv on April 11th, and for a malicious URL, and we're going to actually dig into that and show you what happened and what would have happened if the user had gone to that URL. So a client's Kaspersky antivirus popped this signature right here, trojan.html.redirector.cn. That was all the information it gave us. It gave us this URL along with it, but it didn't tell us where it was redirecting to. So we figured, okay, maybe it's like an admin panel or something. We're not really sure what. But Kaspersky couldn't tell us where it was redirecting. And in this instance, it did block it. So we're just going to go on the assumption that what would have happened had the user been able to successfully access the page, what might have happened to their computer, what might have happened to the network. So we're going to throw this through who is, and we get this really, really long, who is entry. It's registered to this one dude, Honduras. It's hosted in Provo, Utah. And here's a screenshot of the site. It looks like some kind of financial site, maybe insurance, something. I don't know. I spent 4 years in Spanish in high school. I still don't know jack shit. So go and check a few different sites out there for reputation. March Total didn't pick up anything. IBM X-Force didn't pick up anything. Simon picked up nothing. Earl Void goes out and it will be, that's a handy little site. It'll go out and check a whole bunch of blacklists for you. And it got nothing. ForcePoint, which used to be WebSense, bought by Raytheon, now it's ForcePoint, it saw the redirect like Kaspersky did, but it couldn't tell us where it was redirecting to again. And my web trust up there, yeah, don't ever trust them. I can answer that question after this, but just saying. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw that URL into a wonderful little site called an HTTP viewer. There's other ones out there like this. This is just the one I was using. And what this will do is you can put the URL in there, tell it to get, and it will go and pull the code of the page and show it to you. So here's our wonderful output of that PHP file. And yeah, it kind of looks a little bit weird, right? I don't see anything there that would, look in place on a financial site. So it's kind of strange. There's a whole bunch of this random text, and then we have this little JavaScript down here at the bottom. And that JavaScript looks like that. And something you'll notice is you have this variable repeated about a dozen times in there. You've got an A equals number up here, and then you have this long string of comma-separated stuff. And there's something else we noticed about this particular PHP script on this page. Whenever you refresh the HTTP viewer, all of that random text that you saw would change, and all of the variables would change. All of the numbers in the comma-separated string would change. And this little A number up here would change. So that was kind of weird. And then after a little bit more digging, a little bit more research, a coworker of mine figured out that little A number might be an offset for this whole JavaScript function. Now, what exactly does that mean? An offset means you could, apply it either positive or negative to any of the numbers in the string, and you might end up with another string that corresponds to something. So, but that doesn't explain why it's all randomly generated. So, real quick math. We'll just do subtraction on the offset. What's 168 minus 49? Anybody? Good. 119. Okay. 154 minus 49. 105. Okay. 207 minus 88 on the second one. 119. 193 minus 88. 105. Noticing a pattern? Didn't matter what these were. The random generation could give us anything, but the output was going to be the same from that function. So, we're going to go over to Excel for a second. Louder! So I have a set of those numbers from one of the refreshes. It just happened to have a 19 offset for that set. And let's see what happens when we apply that offset. Here's our new set, right? So, given that it's a PHP script, obviously it works in HTML, what does HTML need to redirect? It needs some kind of a text link, like a.href equals, then your URL that it's going to link to. So I kind of figured, okay, so we have this set of numbers after applying the offset. Isn't that kind of in the range of, like, ASCII codes maybe? I think so. So what happens if we take that list of ASCII codes and we apply it to that list of offset numbers? Oh. So there's a nice little obfuscated command here, isn't there? Window.top.location.href, HTTP, and so. Oh, it's Russian. It's got to be good. Had to be Russian, right? Yeah. So if we throw that through all of our reputation sites, just like before, even though it didn't pick up the initial site that had the redirect on it, some of our other sites did pick up. So Simon had one entry in its timeline, because Alien Vault picked it up a while back. Earlboy picked it up 4 times, and then Virusil picked it up 4 times. And it's basically what that site boiled down to is it's some kind of shady pharmacy site that's hosted over in Russia. So obviously you wouldn't want your users going there if you're on an enterprise network, because I don't know for sure if it was dropping malware or not, but I'd rather not find out.
Did you grab the whois?
For that one,
Who registered with the email and all that jazz?
there actually was not a whole lot of information on that one. It just said like private user, and there was like maybe 8 lines in the whois.
Were you able to pivot on any of that?
Didn't really try because the Kaspersky did block it in this instance. We were just going down that rabbit hole to see if we could figure out where it was redirecting to because it wasn't telling us. So some of the tools we used on that one, Domain Tools is a good one for whois. They give you a lot of information. IP Void or Earl Void are great because they will check a whole bunch of lists for you. So if you're sitting at home and maybe your antivirus picks up something, like an IP tried to connect to your computer, and it logs that. You can take that IP, throw it into IP void, and see where it's coming from, if it's a known blacklisted IP, stuff like that. Cybon's also good for that. IBM X-Force is usually pretty good. It just didn't have any results for this instance. VirusTotal, if you ever got a URL that you're wondering about, throw it through there. And the HTTP viewer, also really good. If you have anything for anything that you think is malicious, but you don't want to actually run it on your computer, you can actually view the code, and you don't have to run it on your computer on your own computer. So that's pretty much what we do up at Optiv. We get all these alerts in compliance, and then we go through, and for instances like this, we'll go through a triage and tell the client, hey, this is happening on your network, this is how you resolve it. We'll give them research like this.
Which one picked up the redirect?
Kaspersky and ForcePoint, which used to be WebSense.
So you can assume that they were able to.
They picked up that the page was redirecting, but not where it was going to, because they saw the JavaScript, but then the fact that the page redirected, the URL was obfuscated, so it couldn't tell us the URL that it was going to. It just saw that it changed.
Awesome. That's good stuff. Who else has questions?
So was the JavaScript running PHP code on the site a little bit earlier, or was it running on the Russian side?
Say that again.
Or how was the JavaScript doing? Yeah, was JavaScript doing the PHP? How is that?
The JavaScript was part of the PHP file that would have been called when you loaded the page. I'm pretty sure that PHP file had something to do with like maybe an admin panel or something, because it did have an administrator in the